All right, already. I know the World Cup has started, but Group G has not. So let's get to it as quickly as possible so I can do Group H next. Also, fun fact for you, once the World Cup expands from 32 to 48 teams, which on one hand, I still don't feel like it should because it would completely dilute the talent and allow for some pretty crap teams to be involved. And pretty crap sounds pretty harsh. But on the other, it would be cool to see some countries who would never qualify in this current setup like Luxembourg, or Haiti, or India, and see them get to take on a Germany or Brazil or Spain in the group stages and see if they can pull off the miracle, which they probably wouldn't, but it would still be pretty rad to see if they could. Anyway, I'm torn. And anyway, times two, let's get back to the fun fact because I'm not sure I'm gonna do a proper, super detailed preview once the tournament expands to 48 because that'll be so many countries involved and 12 groups in total, and I'm already struggling with previewing 8 groups. And you know what? I'm just gonna worry about this later so we can get to Group G and Belgium, who have as much talent in their squad as the other top countries in the tournament, so they should be considered one of the legitimate favorites of the whole thing. In fact, many consider this current collection of Belgian players to be the country's golden generation, but I think that distinction has to go to their 1986 World Cup squad, who were led by Belgian legend Enzo Sifo because they finished 4th that summer in Mexico, and that is a huge achievement. So if this group of players wants to truly be considered as the best national team that their country has ever produced, then they need to perform and not flame out of this tournament like they did in the Euros in 2016 when they lost to f***ing Wales 3-1 in the quarterfinals. However, they got an on-fire Romelu Lukaku who has 13 goals in his last 9 national team matches, Kevin De Bruyne, who was a Mohamed Salah away from being the best player in the Premier League last season, Eden Hazard, who is one of the best players in the world when he's playing at the peak of his ability, somewhere up here, which isn't anywhere near as much as it should be. I think we can all agree he's not as consistent as he should be. And then they have a solid defense that's made even more solid when Vincent Kompany is healthy, and Thibaut Courtois on goal. And Thierry Henry is an assistant coach. That seems a little bit unfair. That guy has a wealth of knowledge and a belief in the system of manager Roberto Martinez, who, fun fact for you, is the only manager to win the FA Cup and get relegated from the Premier League in the same season, which is a special skill. As is Gareth Southgate's ability to still have his job as England manager, because many people thought, myself included, that they would name someone else as the permanent manager when he first took over temporarily after the Big Sam Allardyce scandal. And actually, you have to wonder how different this squad would have been if Big Sam hadn't been caught being sketchy and was still in charge of all these guys and his type of tactics and all of that. Because in fairness to Southgate, I think he's done quite well since getting the full-time job. And I'm not sure I brought those in for that. I don't know, I'm an idiot. Especially in bringing in younger players like Jordan Pickford, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and Trent Alexander-Arnold, and phasing out some older and more established guys like Joe Hart, Chris Smalling, and Jack Wilshere for the betterment of the team overall. But let's be honest, the success of the Three Lions is resting on the shoulders of one player and one player only, Harry Kane. If the recently named captain of his country can replicate the form that he had for Spurs this season, where he scored 30 goals in 38 league games, and he actually didn't play in all 38 because he was hurt, then I think England can get out of the group. But for them to make a deep run, he's going to need help. But thankfully, Kane's teammate for club and country, Kevin Trippier, said this: "Everybody knows what Harry Kane is all about. He's a goal scorer, a great professional. But if you look all around our team, we've got winners." Now, I'm not sure what kind of accent I was trying to do there or which players that Trippier thinks are winners, outside of Gary Cahill, who has won multiple league trophies, the Europa and Champions League and the FA Cup. Though I guess Danny Welbeck, Raheem Sterling, Jamie Vardy, Phil Jones, Ashley Young, and Fabian Delph, and maybe one or two more that I missed, should be on the list too, since they've all won one Premier League trophy, but the majority haven't won anything. Also, England is the only team in the World Cup entirely comprised of players that only play in their domestic league and nowhere else, and I haven't decided if that's a good thing or not. I mean, on one hand, the Premier League is arguably the most competitive league in the world, so why leave, you know? But on the other, I think having some experienced players playing in other leagues would make them stronger, like Panama and Tunisia's players do. However, we could argue that the players that play for these two countries have to play elsewhere because their respective domestic leagues aren't strong enough for the players to develop properly, which, to go off on a slight tangent, just an itty-bitty tiny one, if you don't mind, MLS has been huge for the most talented Central American players because they now have a place to go and get better and be seen and either do well and stay in the States or parlay that to a move to Europe or South America. So for all the shit that MLS gets, they have 100% helped out this subset of players. But back to Panama and Tunisia specifically, well, I think they're both screwed because they happen to share a group with two really good countries that everyone has pegged to go through. However, both Belgium and England are known to falter at times, either due to their own incompetence or lack of confidence or playing to the level of their competition. But I don't know, it feels like Belgium and England are going to be up for the challenge this time around, and I can't really explain why. It's just in my gut. So as much as I would love to see a red, white, and blue team from the CONCACAF region advance to the knockout rounds after qualifying for their first ever World Cup, I think they're just going to have to settle for just being happy to be in Russia. While Tunisia, though, participating in their 5th World Cup, have won only one of their 12 previous group stage games and never advanced. And I think that's what's going to happen again. So let's take a look at what I said before back in December, right after the draw. Ah, yes. Belgium in 1st, England in 2nd, Panama in 3rd, and Tunisia in 4th. And nothing has changed for me. I think that's exactly how it's going to go. So let me know what order you think these 4 countries are going to finish in, and if you get it right, you will 100% get some Warmballers stickers, but you'll also be entered to win a shirt and a hat too. So good luck, though I don't believe you're going to need the luck because this group seems pretty straightforward and simple to predict. Yeah, it is, right? It is. It totally is. So I'll catch you tomorrow for Group H or later on for very curious news from around the Russia with the amazing Conradinho. That's me. All right, later.